Weapons. This section contains playtest versions of weapons in the player's handbook. Heal. You'll find weapon tables, several revised weapon properties, and a new type of property, mastery properties. When we revisit the experts and priests in future Unearthed Arcana articles, some of them will gain access to these special properties. Okay. Weapon updates. Here are the new elements in this weapons section. Each weapon now has a mastery property, a special property that requires a feature to unlock. The mastery properties are described in this document. Short sword is once again a martial weapon, which, if I'm not mistaken, they did revert that in one of the previous ones. I do remember that, yeah. And then the net, which doesn't deal damage, is now adventuring gear rather than a weapon. Okay. Okay, sure. Do you still make an attack roll with it? Maybe not. We'll see, I guess. Okay. The Trident's damage die has now changed from a D6 to a D8, and its versatile die is now a D10 rather than a D8. Okay, so the Trident's damage has increased by 1 die. The Lance now has the heavy and two-handed properties rather than the special property, which opposed to... Yeah, I think Lance, if you were in 5 feet, you had disadvantage on its attack, right? Yeah, and the War Pick now has the versatile property. There was a War Pick? When did we get a War Pick? The Musket and Pistol, which previously appeared in the Dungeon Master's Guide, now appear in Martial Weapon. Okay, so now they're making Musket and Pistols official? Okay. Is that Eberron? I mean, I'm assuming... Well, to be fair, it depends on whether or not they're going to put Artificer into it, right? I guess. If they're going to make Artificer an official class, which they might. I don't think they will, but they might. Okay. The light property now appears in the weapons properties section rather than the glossary. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So they just moved where it is. Okay, sure. And the throne property now allows you to draw a weapon as part of the ranged attack. Okay, so you can, if you have 2 javelins, you can, like, attack. You can just throw, like a fighter can throw 8 javelins in 1 turn if they want. Sure. Okay. So those are the changes, really, right? I mean, what really, like, other than that, like, finesse is apparently not a fucking mastery thingy. I also love how, like, oh, look, you have to master your weapon to get this, but, like, what, like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them have slow. 1, 2, 3 of them have nick. Oh, topple's a new one. Sap, like, okay, like half of them get the same fucking mastery. I mean, to be fair, like, also apparently a war pick and a war hammer is the same fucking thing these days. The one just deals piercing, the other one deals blood. Why would you, okay, out of sheer curiosity, why would you, if you can pick it during character creation, why would you pick a war pick over a war hammer? Legitimately, why would you? Like, it's the same weights. This one costs more, meaning you can sell it for more. It just is bludgeoning over piercing. It's not like you're going to predict, unless your DM very specifically says, you're only going to be fighting with creatures who take damage from piercing. Unless that happens, this is like very little reason to ever pick a war pick. I don't know why I skipped to the bottom of this list. It's just something I know. Anyway, did we get like new shit other than that? Not it doesn't seem, I think this is legitimately everything they changed in like the actual weapons, right? Like, still 4 simple ranged weapons. Was shortbow always? Shortbow was always a simple weapon, right? Like, I'm not imagining that. I'm just gonna see. It's really helpful to have it open here. Ah, I thought ahead. My god, I really should do that more often. Like, every single time I run a D&D session. Or just any kind of session, really. I'm pretty sure. Wait, no, this is armor. Why am I looking at improvised weapons and not at weapons in this god? Yeah, short bow was always a yeah. Okay. Okay. So pretty much they buffed Trident, which to be fair, like, sure. Wait, same question though. Oh well, topple, I guess. Probably, yeah, probably because of the mastery in this case. Because like Trident now does the same thing that a War Pig does, but better because you can throw it. And I mean, like, yeah. So I'm assuming the one reason you'd pick it is because of topple over flex. I guess that would be like the one thing that I can think of. I think very like a lot is gonna depend on how these masteries work, right? Because wait, how did they describe it? They said that where is it? Each weapon now has a mastery property that requires a feature to unlock. Does that mean like you need a specific feature from a specific class then? Is that what we're talking about? Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, might as well, I guess. Sure. And then oh yeah, so they added musket and pistol. Musket 1d12. Holy damn. Okay, sure. But yeah, loading has a loading property. I mean, wait, why would you pick? Okay, again, push versus slow, I'm assuming. I think they literally just added this. Like, they literally. I'm assuming you're not going to be able to pick this as your starting equipment. That's one thing that I'm assuming. The second thing that I'm assuming. The second thing that I'm assuming is slow and push are going to be like your reasons to pick a heavy crossbow over a musket. Because, like. Oh no, sorry, crossbow. I mean, yeah, no. Didn't olden guns have like very low range and very low accuracy and shit like that? Probably. Yeah. Okay, cool, sure. Let's assume this for a second. Okay. So weapon properties. Here are the properties whose definition have changed for this playtest. Light. Light has changed. You take the attack action on your turn and attack with a light weapon. You can make one extra attack as a bonus action later on the same turn. That extra attack must be made with a different light weapon. You don't add your ability modifier to that extra attack's damage unless the modifier is negative. Wait, they changed it back. They changed it back. Really? Didn't they changed the light property in one of the previous UAs, didn't they? Hold up. I think it was the Druid and Paladin one. Didn't they change? I'm pretty sure. Hold up. Probably somewhere at the fucking bottom, right? Lights. Yeah, because it wasn't a glossary before. So did they change this back here? When you take the attack action, you can make one extra attack as part of the same action. Must be made with a different light weapon. So they changed that back. Okay. Why? Why would you change that back? I think everybody was happy about that change. Because it actually, like, gave you a reason to dual wield. Okay. Thrown. You can if a weapon has a thrown property, you can throw the weapon to make a ranged attack. Draw that weapon as part of the attack, which was something they mentioned. Weapon is a melee weapon. Use the same ability modifier for that attack roll and damage roll that you would use for a melee attack with the weapon. So for a hand axe, you have to use your strength, but you can use a dagger with dex. Okay. Is finesse still in here? Actually, that's something. Was finesse changed in? I seem to remember at some point they changed finesse as well, right? They like made it so that you always still dealt strength damage with them. That might have been like it's. Wait, that was the thing in Pathfinder, but I think they tried it out like once here too. I can't find it at least. Doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. So sure, I mean This is just pretty much they added that you can like pick it up. I think I already did that, but they specified it, so like otherwise, like aren't thrown weapons like fucking weak otherwise? If you have to like, you know, if you have like 5 javelins, you could just like chuck one and then you're done. Like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway. Okay, mastery property. So this is the interesting part because this is the big change. So each weapon now is a mastery property, as shown in the weapons table above. That property is usable only by a character who has a feature such as weapon mastery that unlocks the property for the character. Wait, so are we okay, I'm assuming we're going to get to fighter during this, right? Because fighter was in the list and barbarian too, and monk was the only one that wasn't. So I'm assuming fighter and barbarian are going to get weapon mastery. So I'm assuming they're going to have a feature that legitimately just says like you get the weapon mastery for weapons that you're proficient with, I assume. If a game's feature lets you replace a game... Okay, hold on. Okay, so if a game feature lets you replace a weapon's mastery property with another one, that weapon must meet any prerequisites specified for the new... So there are features that let you replace the mastery. So does that mean that, for example, you can have... I don't know, you have like a cleaving halberd, you can make it a flexing halberd, then I'm assuming. Okay. I mean... It depends on whether or not you'll be able to like upgrade your weapons. Like that would be cool, I guess. Cleave. So cleave prerequisite, it has to be a melee weapon and it has to have the heavy property, which I guess makes sense. If you hit a creature with a melee attack using this weapon, you can make an attack roll with the weapon against the second creature within 5 feet of the first that is also within your reach. On a hit, second creature takes the weapon's damage, but don't add your ability modifier to that damage unless the modifier is negative. You can make this extra attack only once per turn. So pretty much you're getting like the previous light property as a mastery now. And it has to be on a different target. Okay. I mean, so what weapons, for example, have cleave? So I'm assuming only like heavy and two-handed. So halberd has cleave. Great axe has cleave, which makes sense. And then, is that it? I think that's it. There's 2 weapons that have cleave. Which, like, great axe and halberd do make sense for that, sure. Okay, flex. Prerequisite versatile. When you hit with a melee attack using this weapon, you deal its versatile damage even if you're wielding it with one hand. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, no. That's actually, I actually like this one. This is good. So I'm gonna tell you guys why I like this. One of the biggest issues that I've always personally very heavily had with the original weapon table was the fact that overall there were very little situations where a longsword was better than a rapier. Where a longsword for a strength character was better than a rapier for a dex character. Because both of them did a d8 damage. And let's be honest, there were very little cases where you would use a two-handed, like a longsword versatile. Because either you'd be carrying a shield or you're just better off carrying like a greatsword, right? Like a giant sword, because it dealt more damage on average. So this makes the damage for a longsword better than that for a rapier. Although we do have to take into consideration, like rapier does have like Vex as a mastery, so then Vex has to be like different, I guess. Yeah, no, I like this. This makes versatile weapons at least have some value, right? Wait, what was it called? It was called flex. You get to flex on your opponents. So flex is on a longsword, is on warpick and warhammer, sure. Is on a spear. Oh yeah, because that's versatile. That's true. Is on a quarterstaff. What was the other one that they just changed? So battle axe, for example, doesn't have it. Okay. Wasn't there a versatile... Wait, which weapon did they change? Did they say... Here, lance. Oh no, for some weird reason I thought lance had versatile on it. Never mind, sorry. Yeah, okay. So heavy reach, two-handed, unless mounted. Okay. Apparently, oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. Okay, so that's flex. Graze, melee weapon in the heavy property again. If your attack roll with this weapon misses a creature, you can deal damage to the creature equal to the ability modifier you used to make the attack roll. This damage is the same type as dealt by the weapons, and the damage can't be increased in any other way other than increasing the ability modifier. Okay, so the way that I understand this then, that means that, for example, if you would have a +3 version of the weapon, you'd still only be dealing your ability modifier as damage. Right? Like if you... I mean, like what weapon has graze on it? Here, greatsword and a glaive. A greatsword and a glaive both have it. So the way that I understand this is that what would happen is you would make your... Even if you'd have a +3 greatsword, you'd still only be dealing your strength. I'm assuming you attack with your strength, unless you're like a fucking weirdo warlock. Pretty much you'd still be dealing like only 3. You wouldn't be dealing 3 plus the +3 from the greatsword. I mean, sure. It kind of guarantees damage, I guess. Is that better than like something? Well, cleave is limited, right? Like cleave is limited to very specific positioning. Whereas graze is, I'm not going to say always, but is technically always going to allow you to have value. It's just not going to give you more value if you hit. Whereas cleave kind of is for like, cleave kind of gives you value. Yeah, like, this is the way that you have to see it, right? Like, cleave gives you value for positioning. Graze gives you value no matter what. And flex gives you value on a hit, because, you know, you're going to be dealing more damage when flexing when you hit, but you're going to be dealing more damage when grazing when you miss. So, okay, yeah. It does make weapon choices quite interesting, actually. Nick, in the nick of time. When you make an extra attack of the light... Wait, when you make the extra attack... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Then I can kind of live with it. Yeah. So here, Nick, when you make the extra attack of the light property, you can make it as part of the attack action instead of as the bonus action. You can still make this extra attack only once per turn. Okay. So pretty much what they did is they moved it to... I was thinking it was going to be something like that, but, you know. So what has that? So daggers... Because you can just like dagger, I guess. Light hammer, apparently. And sickle. Is there anything else? Oh, and scimitar. Scimitar, but short sword doesn't. Oh, okay. Actually gives you a fucking reason to pick up a scimitar over a short sword. Because, you know, you can take Nick instead of Vex. Okay, so... But that makes... that... Like, to be fair, I don't remember what the dual-wielding feat gave. I think that was in the original character options one, right? Actually, yeah, can I find that? Because, like, the big thing that I'm thinking now, I think that was in character origins. I seem to recall. It was like this entire thing with feats. These are the races, backgrounds. Oh, here, feats. Because there was, dual wielding was a feat, and they changed it. Oh, is it the second play? It might be expert classes. Again, I still need to open these. Because I remember there was one moment where they added feats. Here's a bunch. Here it is. Yeah, here we go. Dual wielder. Right. 4th level feats. grace zero, yada yada yada. When you're holding a weapon with the light property in one hand, you can treat a non-light weapon in your hand as if it had the light property, provided that it lacks the two-handed property. Right? So the reason I wanted to look that up is because that means the dual wielder still isn't that great because you don't have Nick on it, right? Although they might change. I don't. Well, they did mention that they were. Well, no, they're not. They're only changing the epic boons, not the other ones. So, and you still need to be like your weapon still needs to be a light weapon for it to have Nick as a fighting as a weapon mastery. So, oh well.